Welcome, and thank you for viewing this video on how to use the Interactive Highway Safety Design Model, IHSDM. This video serves as a primer to IHSDM training courses and as a refresher for users revisiting the software. It covers data inputs and entry, describing the data entry methods, and how to input different data formats into the IHSDM software. The IHSDM 2020 release, version 16.0.0, will be shown throughout this video. After you have completed this video, you should be able to identify methods for data entry, explain and demonstrate how to enter data via the Highway Editor, Site Set Editor, and a spreadsheet, explain and demonstrate how to import data from a land XML file, demonstrate how to enter user-defined crash modification factors, or CMFs, explain the purpose of segmentation and how IHSDM supports the process. You may complete the entire video from start to finish or use the Table of Contents feature on the left to jump around and view specific sections. This section describes the methods for entering data into the IHSDM. Data entry methods include entering location-based data via the Highway Editor, importing data from a land XML file, copying and pasting data from a spreadsheet, and entering site-based data via the Site Set Editor. Some data entry methods apply to both location-based and site-based data, while others are only applicable to one, as shown here. You can use the Highway Editor to enter location-based data. In this section, I will display a plan view of a highway and then go through a demonstration of inputting data using the Highway Editor. Here is an example of a plan view of a horizontal alignment that is typically found on highway design plans. After inputting data, the results should be similar to this. We will now go through a demonstration of inputting data using the Highway Editor. You can define a new highway or highways under an existing project, or you can create a new project and then add a new highway or highways. Here, we are going to add data to an already created project. Select the project, then click New Highway. Enter a name for the highway in Title. Enter a description if desired. Change the Emax value using the drop-down if desired. Change the default normal cross slope if desired, and then click Next. On the section Station Equations screen, you can add station equations if applicable. We do not have station equations for this demonstration, so leave them blank and click Next. On the Specify Highway Attributes screen, enter 0 in the starting location. Enter 4050 in the ending location field. Enter 0 in the heading location field. Enter 0 in the elevation location field. Leave in the heading angle and elevation height default values. On the section Zones screen, you can add area type, alignment type, and functional classification. For area type, click Add. Leave 0 as the starting location and leave Rural for the area type. For alignment type, click Add. Leave 0 as the starting location and Undivided 2-lane as the alignment type. On the functional classification screen, you can add the functional class of the roadway. Click Add, keep 0 as the starting station, and Arterial as the functional class. Keep the default nominal values. Click Next. Check Start the Highway Editor on the summary screen, then click Finish. The Highway Editor will then open. You can edit any of the elements on the left side for various IHSDM modules, which can be selected from the drop-down menu. Elements with a green check mark indicate that data is included for that element. Elements with an orange question mark indicate that data may be missing, but data not required for that element. A red X next to an element indicates that required data is missing. You will notice that the design speed element is missing data, so I will select that element to add data. Select Add to add a design speed. I will change the speed to 60 miles per hour, and then click Add and Close. The entire roadway has the same design speed, which is why I did not change the starting and ending locations. You can continue this process for each element. Remember to save any inputted data. To save, click File and Update Same Version to save the data. Once you have added any necessary data for your roadways, you can exit out of the Highway Editor. You can also import data into IHSDM from a land XML file. First, you would need to export highway data, for example, horizontal alignment information, from design software files to a land XML file. Most design softwares can do this. Then, click on the project you would like to import data to. Select Import Highway Intersection Site Set Data. Select the land XML file you would like to import. For this demonstration, I will select a file for US 30. Note, this file is not available in the IHSDM software, but is shown as an example of a typical land XML file. Click Next and Next again. This screen shows a summary of the highway and intersections in the file. Select Finish. You will notice in the navigation tree that the land XML imported contains multiple alignments. In this case, there are 8 alignments. There will be several error messages due to the lack of vertical alignment or other data. These data will be completed later in the IHSDM. Next, you can complete or correct the data in the IHSDM. I will select Alignment Route 30 from the list of imported alignments and then select Edit Highway to open the Highway Editor. You can select any of the elements on the left panel to input data. The major data imported includes horizontal alignment, so other data needs to be added. For example, you can expand General and select Area Type. Then you can click Add. I will keep the area type as Rural and then click Add and Close. A warning box will appear to remind you to save your data. Click Dismiss. To save the data, click File and Update Same Version. Another warning box might appear that indicates other data that needs to be added to different elements. Click Dismiss and continue to enter any needed data. Once you enter data, you can click the X on the top right of the screen. You can edit the highway by clicking the highway file again and selecting Edit Highway. Refer to the previous Highway Editor section on how to edit the highway. You can also see a plan view of the highway for any highway with location-based data by clicking the highway file and selecting View Highway. As another option, you can copy and paste data into IHSDM from a spreadsheet. To do so, you first need to create a highway. I will now demonstrate how to copy and paste horizontal alignment data. Click the highway you would like to edit and click Edit Highway. Under the Crash Prediction Data menu, click Horizontal Alignment. Copy the data from a spreadsheet. Make sure columns are in the same order as the horizontal alignment columns in IHSDM. Hover over the Add and right-click Add. Select Paste. Then click File and Update Same Version to save the changes. Under File, you will also see an option to Save New Version. Saving a new version will save any modifications and create a new version for the data set. Updating the same version will also save any modifications, but will not create a new version of the data set. If you save a new version, the most up-to-date version is displayed in the navigation tree. However, you can change the version represented through Version History. Next, I will demonstrate how to input data using the Site Set Editor. An IHSDM site set contains a set of geometric, traffic, and ancillary data, or highway elements, that describes the highway and associated intersections and/or interchange components. You can only evaluate site sets using the Crash Prediction module. Data requirements for these sites match the data needs from the Highway Safety Manual Part C predictive method, as they do for location-based data as well. To input site set data, select the project using the navigation tree. Click New Site Set, create a title, and add a description if desired. Click Next, then Finish. The Site Set Editor will automatically start. Expand the Site Set Editor's navigation tree to see all site types. Click the desired site. For this demonstration, I will use three-legged minor road stop control intersection RTL_3ST under Rural 2-Lane Site Data. To add site data, required segment traffic data, crash data, and user-defined CMF, click Add Edit Site Data. To add site data, click the Site Data tab, then click Add. A blank row will appear. Select the row and click Edit. Name the highway US 1. Add 1 for number of approaches with left turn lanes. Add 0 for number of approaches with right turn lanes. Keep No for presence of lighting, and add 0 for skew angle 1. Click OK. Select required intersection traffic data. Click Add. Select the blank line, then click Edit. Name the site number 1, put 2021 for the year, add 2,000 vehicles per day for major road AADT, and 500 vehicles per day for the minor road AADT. Click OK. Crash data and user-defined CMFs are optional. We will demonstrate these later. Click OK to save the data. One row of data now appears in Site Set Editor. Click File and Update Same Version to save the changes. Before I exit out of the Site Set Editor, you will notice there are two other buttons in the Site Set Editor: CSV Export Site Data and CSV Import Site Data. The CSV Export Site Data option allows users to export the site set data to a single .csv file. The CSV Import Site Data option allows users to import site set data from a .csv file that was created either via the CSV export site data option or by other means that follows the same format and configuration. Click the X to exit out of the site set editor. You cannot see a plan view of the highway for site set data, which differs from location-based data entry. Next, I will demonstrate the process for entering user-defined CMFs to existing highway data in IHSDM. This applies if you want to include CMFs in the crash prediction module beyond the CMFs in Part C of the Highway Safety Manual. To enter user-defined CMFs, select the highway, then click Edit Highway. Select User-Defined CMF under the Crash Prediction Data module. Click Add. A blank row will appear. Select Edit. Name the CMF. I will name it Test 1. Add a description of the CMF. I will add Test CMF for demonstration. Enter the starting location for which the CMF is applicable, which will be 0. Add the ending location, which will be 1050. Enter the starting and ending years for which the CMF is applicable. I will leave both years blank to apply the CMF to all years. Enter the severity level of the CMF. I will keep total, then enter the CMF value. This CMF will be 0.9. Click OK. Select File and Save New Version to save the CMF. Notice the green check mark on the left. This indicates data has been entered into the element. You can then exit out of the highway editor. User-defined CMFs can also be entered for site-based data entry via the Site Set editor. Select the site set data you would like to enter user-defined CMFs for on the navigation tree and click Edit Site Set. Select your roadway type. We previously used three-legged minor stop control intersection, RTL_3ST, so we will continue using that. Select that roadway type and click Add Edit Site Data. Select the user-defined CMF at the top of the screen. Click Add. Then select the blank row and click Edit. You can use this screen to add a CMF value for different severity levels and years. The data you need to enter is similar to the data needed for entering user-defined CMFs via the highway editor. However, you cannot specify starting and ending locations for the CMF as you can using the highway editor. This section discusses segmentation of highways in the IHSDM. Segmentation of a roadway produces a set of homogeneous segments with respect to data inputs such as traffic volume, roadway characteristics, and traffic control features. For example, on rural two-lane highways, a new segment would be created for each change in traffic volume, lane width, and horizontal curvature. Segmentation differs for location-based and site-based data, which is discussed in the next slide. This table shows the difference in the segmentation process depending on location-based or site-based inputs and the applicability of each. Location-based data input provides automatic segmentation of highways, where site-based data input requires a manual segmentation process by the user before defining or in order to define their sites. It is better if users segment site set data external to the IHSDM in a spreadsheet and then transfer the homogeneous segments to IHSDM using the site set editor. Location-based analysis applies to any module, but site-based analysis applies to the crash prediction module only. Site-based data input is useful for projects where detailed location-based geometry is not available. You may find site-based analysis particularly convenient for intersections. Location-based data can also be used to evaluate a single intersection. However, users must create an intersection using at least 2 intersecting highways. In summary, you can enter location-based data via the highway editor, import data from a land XML file, copy and paste data from a spreadsheet, or enter site-based data via the site set editor. While IHSDM includes the CMFs for Part C of the Highway Safety Manual, you can enter your own user-defined CMFs to account for other roadway elements. Finally, segmentation is the process of creating homogeneous segments. Location-based data input provides automatic segmentation, where site-based data input requires the user to manually segment the data before entering it into IHSDM. Technical assistance is available through the IHSDM website. Here, you will find answers to many of your questions in the Frequently Asked Questions section. You can also contact an expert by email or phone to ask questions and request further assistance. There is also a tutorial within IHSDM where you can find step-by-step instructions on how to use the tool. If you are interested in learning more about IHSDM, you can request further training through these links to the National Highway Institute or FHWA Resource Center. Thank you for your interest in the IHSDM tool and how to use it to assess the safety impacts of your highway design decisions. We hope you've gained a better understanding of the various data entry methods. Once you've entered data for your location of interest, you are ready to run the evaluation modules.